Ralph Ballantyne checked the knots in the ropes holding Josef Gerhard to the chair. Still tight, still holding fast. He couldn't deny he felt some satisfaction in seeing the man who'd done so much to hurt him and his family and friends trussed up like a turkey in a cleaning cupboard in his own underground complex. He glanced across at his sister Robyn, and from the grim smile on her face, guessed that she must feel very much the same. He was struck for a moment by how gaunt Robyn looked after the weeks of ordeal they'd been through together. Living on the run, hardly a thing to eat, chased across the Lebombo mountains by soldiers, poachers, and predator beasts. Sickness, stress, trauma. He hadn't fared so well himself. His clothes hung loose on him, and his body was a mass of bruises. He'd barely recognized himself in the mirror yesterday. Then there were the changes on the inside. Ralph knew that he and his sister had been transformed by their experiences, hardened. Neither of them would be the same again. He eyed the half-filled syringe in his sister's hand. "Stay back," Gerhard hissed, his grey eyes bulging as Robyn took a step towards him. "Don't you come near me with that." "After all that you've put us through," Robyn snorted. She held up the syringe and pushed gently on the plunger to release a few viscous drops from the needle. "You should be thanking me, not whining like the sick animal you are." "Rob, are you sure about this?" said Ralph quietly. "Maybe he doesn't deserve it." Gerhard was a monster, sure. A brilliant tech mogul turned mad scientist. He'd been playing God with DNA, breeding prehistoric predators and other ancient beasts for his hunting grounds in a clandestine program of animal cruelty, backed by the president of South Africa himself, Julius Mbato. And in the course of his sick experiments, he'd unleashed a deadly virus that was now affecting millions, and he had manipulated the media to put the blame squarely on the Ballantynes. "He deserves to be punished," said Robyn, her eyes on Gerhard as he struggled against his ropes. "And I'm going to make sure it happens. He's not wriggling out of this." Ralph jumped at a rap at the door. "Ralph? Robyn?" came the voice of their father, Roland Ballantyne. "Everything all right in there with our house guest?" "It will be," Robyn said, moving within reach of Gerhard's arm. "One little scratch, and it will all be over." The door opened, and Roland walked into the room. His sheer physical presence made the room feel half as large, and the cuts and bruises on his face only emphasized his heroic good looks. Behind him came Nico, his girlfriend. Nico's friendly, unassuming air belied her determination to excel. She was a professor of epidemiology and zoonotic diseases, and she worked for a medical organization called Sangomed, but all her knowledge and expertise had meant nothing when she'd contracted the virus herself. She still looked pale and unwell. That she'd survived at all was a small miracle, a miracle wrought by the same antiviral agent that was in Robyn's syringe. Robyn looked sullenly at Roland and Nico. "I can handle this," she said. "I don't need watching over." "We're not here to watch you," said Roland. "We're here to watch him." Nico nodded. "It's not every day you get to see Josef Gerhard receive a taste of his own medicine, literally." Ralph smiled darkly at the joke. A quirk of Ballantyne inheritance had left Roland and his children with a remarkable natural immunity against Ebola, coronavirus, and other viruses. Robyn had come through the sickness with the help of herbal medicines from the local indigenous people, and the resulting antibodies in her blood had then saved Nico from certain death. They hoped that these antibodies would be the basis for a global cure. "What's wrong, Gerhard?" Nico sneered. "You've been out for Ballantyne blood for so long. You should be glad you're finally getting some." "It's good stuff," Roland agreed, clapping Gerhard on the shoulder. "Might give you immunity to all kinds of things." "Except justice," Ralph put in. "I told you to keep away!" Gerhard nearly spat the words at Robyn. "There's nothing wrong with me. I don't have the virus." "Not yet," Roland agreed. "But we're not taking the risk of you dying from it before you confess your crimes. And those of President Mbato." His heart heavy, Ralph nodded. It made him feel sick to think of a man like Mbato in charge of South Africa. A man who longed to legalize big game hunting, to force indigenous tribes from their homelands, to use Gerhard's tech to further his own influence and ambition. His corruption would poison South Africa forever if the two of them weren't stopped.